Welcome everyone in the next session of the subject interaction of land use and transportation. This is our session number 5. In that specific session today we will try to cover the special part of the special planning instrument. So special planning is usually the term which is used very closely in land use, which is connected to the transportation planning. In the interaction between those impact within the region between economic as well as with the social. So its interaction is basically about the special planning. And that special planning, we will also try to understand the location, capacity, quality, the mode of transportation, either if it's a road, rail, bus, ferry, or like bike. So we will try to understand that how transportation infrastructure could affect the accessibility as well as the connectivity of different land uses. So what are the questions we need to ask and process? So first of all, you need to understand to achieve a vision, that is our target goal, we need certain type of action. And for that action, we need strategy. For example, in other words, so vision is that bold statement where we want to be. For example, if I would like to define the same example or explain the same example in terms of sustainable transportation. So for that XYZ city, we would like to build the resilience in sustainable transportation planning. So that is our vision in like 2040. What kind of action now we do require? So for example, we need a plan, we need a problem analysis, we need alternatives like what kind of alignment we will provide, and we also need assessment and decision as well. And then we need realization, and then evaluation, and then implementation. Of course, funds will also be a very big concern. So for every kind of a vision to achieve that, we need certain pre-orientation study, which will slightly elaborate the importance, what kind of existing infrastructure are there, and what you want to achieve. And then the second part is what kind of problem you want to address. Number two. The third one is to achieve that vision, which kind of alternative we do have. For example, alternative one, alternative two, alternative three, alternative five, with that much financial impact as well as that much environmental impact. And then we will assess all those assessment strategies. Okay. And then we will decide, and then we can evaluate and implement. So in that specific session, we will try to understand the same special concept, which is very much well established of the ESDP. Okay, every country development perspective could be achieved from that region special development plan. Okay. In that specific session, I will only briefly explain the European Special Development Perspective. So according to European Special Development Perspective, so that document was approved in 1999. Okay. So the first part is we need approval from the competent authority. And then now we need the legal non-binding document. Okay. Which kind of a framework is there? What kind of policies we need to build to address that specific term. And then we need a strategic aim. So for example, if we are trying to explain the special development perspective, so our broader spectrum would be to create or to achieve the balanced and sustainable special development strategy for that specific region. Okay. If we are trying to understand that how those key components such as economy, environment, and society are interlinked with each other. So those three are actually the multi-sectoral and inductive strategies approach. For the purpose, we need to establish the ESDP. So for example, the first one or approach should be how we can build the integrated approach. So integrated means that we should not only just look at the specific sector of development, we should consider environment, we should also consider economies of scale, we should also consider that how we can well establish, develop and build the transportation as well. But we also need to recognize that how all those could affect each other. For example, societies, economy, as well as the environment. And then second part, we have the special development. So this is a much wider view of the development, which are vitally based on the integrated approaches. And then next part, we have the strategic aspect, which are actually linked with the with kind of a strategies. So like all those terminologies which we already explained in the previous slide, that how we can achieve a specific vision. Okay, of course, for like that, we need certain mission, and then we need strategy, and then we need a kind of a plan. And then we start from the pre-orientation, problem analysis, and then we, in the last, reach to the evaluation and the implementation. The next part we have that how those special policy guidelines could be built. So I actually brought that specific slide from the European Special Development Initiative. For example, the first policy should be that how we could build the police-centric and balanced urban system. For the development of the police-centric and well-balanced urban system, we need to strengthen the partnership between urban as well as the rural area for the purpose to create the urban rural relation. Because for example, if this is our city center and those are our outskirts, so the first thing is we now need to create a well balanced system which could directly connect those outskirt people with the city center, number one. Second is we need to build the balance system. So that doesn't mean that we, for example, if a special class of a people are like elite or like rich people are actually living here, so we should only develop that part. No, no, no. So in 2015, we have also built one initiative as well, which was called mirror planning. So, for example, whenever we leave our house for office for like work, so usually we see our face or dressing codes within that specific mirror. That how I'm looking. So the same policy will be implemented in that specific balanced approach as well. And of course, we need to divert, we need to create more sub-center which is connected with the one city center. And the second part is that how we can build the integrated and communicative concept. So for the promotion of the integrated transportation concept, we should support the Puri-centric development, that one. Okay, because that is connected with that part and that part is connected with that one. Okay. For that process, we need to prioritize the access to the infrastructure as well as to the knowledge. This is very much important. And then the last part is that how we can manage all the resources, natural as well as the cultural heritage. So wise management of all those cultural as well as the wide heritage will help us to conserve the regional identities of the culture within that specific area with the focus of on with the focus of the kind of a globalization as well as the diversity. The next part we have that how we can implement that. So for example, in that specific project, we have different kind of a level. The first part we have aims, and then uh, in the first part we have aims. So for any territorial agenda within any region, a short term policy along with the recommendation within the perspective of integrated special development is required. Okay, the first part. Second part is we need to see that how we can compete with the external world by strengthening diversity within the region, and then within that specific province, and then within the whole world. And then the last part is that how we can, for example, if you have already developed one perspective for the special planning, then we need to tailored every policy recommendation with that specific agenda, because this is our kind of our reference book. The same is the concept. For example, if any initiative is generated at the community level, the same will be sent to the national as well as to the higher level, and then of course the same one will be reached to the regional level. And then we need to see that which kind of international cooperation we do have. uh, do we have any national policy, or do we need a specific sectorial policy, or which kind of regional agendas we do have? So all those functions actually built within that vertical cooperation, which start from top to the bottom. Okay. And then we have the principle of the countervailing influences. So, for example, how those policies actually work. So, it is a system of the mutual cooperation in the preparation as well as in the modification of the plan. It's also called from top to down and from down to up statement as well. For example, if you try to understand special planning at the federal level, so at the federal level, there is a kind of a legal established framework which actually explain the principal objective of the that how we can create sustainable development as well as to create the equivalent living or diverse living for the inhabitants. And then at the second level, we have special policy at the land level. And then we need to see the specific land development program. For example, you want to kind of a develop or re-elevate the specific region which was kind of a lost, or which was kind of forgotten, or which was kind of very much behind in the development. And then next part is special planning at the regional level. So at the regional as well as at the sub-regional plans, we need to assess different procedure. The same one at the community level, then we need to see that where those local buildings, construction plan, and preparation for the land use could be enhanced. So now the last part, we have the instrumentation. Instrumentation means that how for every plan we need strategy, for every strategy we need action. So this is the instrument through which we can impose, we can apply, we can implant or plan. The first part, we have laws. So all those laws should be according to the rules of the federal government, number one, and then of that specific region. For example, if I would like to give example of a Pakistan, so all those policies should be according to the Central Asian Land and Central Asia Planning Commission as well. And then we have the first part is about the land development program. We need to see that which minimum requirement are region or special order or special categories required the kind of a directional settlement for the desired land use. And then second part, we have the instrument relating to the individual cases. When we try to understand regions, so the region is basically putting the general special planning objective into concrete form by defining the aims of special planning at the federal as well as at the land use level. Okay. And then the last part, we have that how those could be related to the individual cases. So individual cases means that how early as well as the extensive investigation of any individual large scale project could be involved and initiated. And then last one, that how the probation of planning schemes and measure conflicting with the special limits with the specific subject to the strict precondition could be achieved.